to episode number 5 in our Machine Learning for Marketers series. I'm your host, Vince Jeffs, coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia again. And just a reminder that I've got 4 other episodes now on my YouTube page, so check those out. It starts with an introduction to artificial intelligence and machine learning, and we work up to this episode. So this week we're going to dive into how to monitor and measure your machine learning algorithms and your programs. And I think it's going to be an interesting little topic here. So let's get started. There's a famous guy, his name's Peter Drucker, and he famously said, you can't manage what you can't measure. And that is so true. I mean, we can't manage our budget if we can't measure the amount of money that we're spending and the amount of money that we're making. So machine learning is no different. You need tools, you need an environment for testing and learning. And really what you need is you need a concept or an approach of like a model factory. And what you're doing in that model factory is you're operationalizing your machine learning. You've got an environment for testing and measuring constantly, and this is something that needs to be sort of automatic. It needs to be something that is not extremely difficult to look at, to assess, and then to make changes to. So it has to be open and dynamic in nature. And one of the ways that you do that is you do that through open and standard interfaces. So for instance, being able to get your models into an environment through a standard approach like PMML, which stands for Predictive Modeling Markup Language, is an important facet to look for. You essentially are going to be monitoring and measuring things like lift. You're going to monitor model features. And these are just the attributes, the data that is predictive. So that's all it is, really. And you're monitoring how effective or what attributes you've got and whether you've got the right ones. And then the last thing you're doing is you're pitting models against each other in a champion-challenger kind of approach, and you're finding winners. So let's get into measuring lift. Ugh, oh my God, looks hard, right? And your reaction, your first reaction and sort of a stage of reactions is going to be you're first frozen like a deer in the headlights in the street. Your second reaction might be, man, they're geeking out on me. This is just too complex. I can't deal with it. And your third reaction is probably going to be oh boy, time for nap. I'm going to go to sleep because this is just really a complex subject. Reality is it's not that hard. It's really kind of easy. And what it really boils down to is 3 simple things. And think of it this way. If you've got something to sell or something to promote to people, maybe you could just go out and you could randomly pick 100 people to tell about that offer you've got. Now, chances are you're only going to find a couple of them that are really going to be interested. And that's kind of your classic response rate in marketing, like the 1 to 2%. So that's what we call random, and you want to go above that. So your modeling is going to be predicting, hopefully, that you're finding the right 100 people, or you're finding a better 100 people to tell, so that 15 of them, let's say, are interested. So that's your lift. That's your model's ability to lift over random. And then a wizard is perfect world, right? You're finding 100 people that are actually interested. When you go out and talk to 100 people, all 100 people are interested in that particular offer you've got. So that would be the ideal world. You're not going to probably ever achieve that, but that's what your goal is. So let's move on now and back to the model factory and think about this. Each model has these features in it. And all those features they're really the variables. They're dependent, what's called dependent variables. And it's just data about your customers. Which pieces of data matter? You're monitoring those. You want the right pieces of data. So if you don't seem to be getting good lift, try more data and look at those features. The model will find the variables that matter over time. Next, pit models against each other. Okay, different models for different problems. Bayesian might be very good for response kind of models. Regression models, can be good for certain kinds of forecasting. Decision models, decision trees can be good for things like clustering. genetic algorithm. So there's a bunch of these and they sound real sophisticated, but the point is that your model environment will very often help you automatically pit these models against each other and choose the right models. And where it's doing it is a thing called curve fitting and goodness of fit. Now again, this is geek talk, but it's got that built in. So generally it should be able to automatically find the models that are most appropriate. Lastly, you need a dashboard. If you're going to monitor and measure something, you've got to have some kind of a dashboard. And I love this one from a company called Costora. But the point is here is that you're not really having a dashboard for your models necessarily on the top level. You're having a business dashboard and you're looking at things like actual to goal, customers, and you're looking at that life cycle with customers. So the stages that you're in: acquisition, deepening a relationship, retaining customers. And you need a dashboard of features that look at things like customer lifetime value, profit. Are you activating customers? Are you repeating business with those customers? Do you have customers at risk, and do you have certain customers that you're trying to win back? So remember, you won't have any idea if you are successful if you don't measure, and you need to measure early and often. So that's the message for today. Next time, we're going to again do the major players in the marketing machine learning ecosystem. That's it for now. Thanks for joining again, and stay tuned for more in this series. Thanks.